Stockpile Man here, and after July, you won't be able to find 15 items in stores. Most people have no idea this is for coming. When I first looked into this, my reaction was there's no way. But once I checked the numbers, that changed fast. The very first item on this list, it's probably sitting on your kitchen right now, but you have no idea how to store it properly. By the end of this video, you will know exactly item to grab first. Let's get into it.
15. Coffee, Folgers, Maxwell House. Let's start with coffee, because the numbers here are impossible to ignore. As of May 2026, the average retail price of 1 pound of ground coffee in the US is $8.92. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics, records going back to 1980, that's the highest level ever recorded. But that's not even the most striking part. That price is 55% higher than it was in February 2024 and 105% higher than it was in April 2021. 5 years ago, you were paying around $4 for a can of coffee. Today, you're paying almost $10. Something that went viral last year illustrated this perfectly. A 52-year-old man from Ohio put a large can of Maxwell House in his cart, pulled up the Walmart app, and checked what he'd paid for the same item. In October 2024, $12.94. That day, it was $21.44. He filmed it, said, "This is ridiculous," and it got millions of views because everyone was experiencing the same thing. So why have prices climbed this much? Several factors hit at the same time, and none of them are resolving quickly. Over 60% of the world's coffee comes from just two countries, Brazil and Vietnam. In 2024, Brazil first suffered a drought, then a frost hit in August. Vietnam then faced catastrophic flooding in October. Both major producers were damaged simultaneously. Brazil's coffee exports dropped 7.4% year over year. Vietnam's exports fell 40% in December alone. Add tariffs on top of that. Coffee is an entirely imported product. Commercial-scale coffee can't be grown in the US, so every tariff increase hits retail prices directly. J.M. Smucker, the company that owns Folgers, had to raise prices twice this year. Nestle raised prices across all its coffee lines, including Nespresso. If you buy large cans of Folgers or Maxwell House, pick them up now. 6 months from now, you'll be paying significantly more for the same can if you can find it. Ground coffee stored in a sealed container in a cool place lasts 3 to 5 years. Vacuum sealed extends that even further. Number 14. Spices, garlic powder, cumin, black pepper. This category doesn't cross most people's minds, but the data is clear. Start with cumin. The vast majority of the world's cumin comes from India. Assessments ahead of the spring 2026 harvest show cumin cultivation area in India shrank by 14%. That sounds modest, but when global supply is this concentrated in one country, a 14% drop creates a significant shortfall. Garlic is more complicated. The bulk of global production comes from China and Southern Europe. Both regions have had difficult harvests since 2023. For California-grown garlic, experts are calling it a perfect storm drought, rising labor costs, and climate variability all hitting at once. USDA data suggests normalization for California garlic is not expected before September 2026. Black pepper is under the same pressure. Production across India, Vietnam, and Indonesia fell roughly 20% in 2025, with tariffs adding further cost on top. These feel like minor things. A teaspoon of cumin, a head of garlic, a pinch of pepper. But consider this. No matter how much rice, beans, and canned vegetables you have, how many days can you eat the same flavorless food? Spices aren't the food itself, but research consistently shows that flavorless eating causes significant psychological strain within just a few weeks. Stock up on large jars of garlic powder, cumin, and black pepper. Stored, sealed in a cool place, they last for years. The cost is minimal, and they make everything else in your pantry actually worth eating. Number 13. Canned soup. Campbell's Progresso. This one has been quietly running into trouble, and most people haven't noticed. The problem with canned soup isn't the product itself, it's the packaging. Aluminum and steel can prices have risen significantly over the past 2 years, and tariffs have added to that. This triggers exactly what food companies always do when margins compress. Low-margin products get cut first. Campbell's and Progresso have seen region-specific gaps on store shelves. Supply managers at major grocery chains have moved canned soup onto their watch list, meaning they're no longer confident they can stock it reliably. This isn't a full shortage, but it means shrinking production, rising prices, and slower shelf restocking. From a practical standpoint, a can of soup is a complete meal. Chicken noodle, vegetable, lentil, these products provide a workable balance of protein, carbohydrates, and micronutrients in a single container. No cooking, no electricity, just open and heat. When you find a good deal at Costco or Sam's Club, buy in bulk. Shelf life is 2 to 5 years and stays fully intact when stored properly. Number 12, ground beef, Walmart, Kroger. The problem here is on the supply side, and it's been building for years. US cattle inventory is at its lowest point in 70 years. In 2023 and 2024, farmers sold off both cows and bulls. Feed costs had risen, and keeping livestock was no longer profitable. That created a short-term supply bump. But now, those animals are gone, and rebuilding a cattle herd takes a minimum of 3 to 5 years. USDA data is unambiguous. Ground beef prices have risen more than 30% over 2 years as of 2026. Walmart and Kroger meat sections are showing stock gaps on certain cuts. It's not entirely empty shelves, but selection is narrowing, and prices are still climbing. For long-term storage, freeze-dried and dehydrated ground beef is available at Costco and on Amazon. You can also freeze regular ground beef yourself for 3 to 4 months. But the direction is clear. This product is going to keep getting more expensive, and that trend isn't reversing. Number 11. Orange juice. Tropicana, simply orange. This story starts with one state, Florida. Florida once produced 70% of all US orange juice on its own. That era is over. As of 2026, Florida production is at record lows. A bacterial disease called citrus greening rots trees from the inside out, and there is currently no known cure. Multiple hurricanes compounded the damage. Irma, Ian, and Milton hit Florida's citrus industry in succession. Tropicana and Simply Orange are both under serious pressure. Without Florida, where does processed OJ come from? Mexico and Brazil could step in, but tariffs are making those imports increasingly expensive. According to USDA projections, the 2026 Florida orange crop came in even lower than the previous year. Both Simply Orange and Tropicana have already raised prices multiple times over the past 2 years. For long-term storage, powdered orange juice is widely available at Walmart and Amazon in large formats. It's also the most economical way to cover your vitamin C needs. Fresh orange juice is gradually moving into the category of a premium product. Number 10. Olive oil. Bertolli, Kirkland, Costco. There's a lot to cover here. About 50% of the world's olive oil comes from a single country, Spain. And Spain has seen years of drought and rising temperatures that have pushed harvests to historic lows. Global production fell from 3.4 million tons in 2022 to 2.5 million tons. And the International Olive Council projects this year will come in even lower. US olive oil imports rose more than 20% because domestic demand didn't drop, but inventories are shrinking and prices are at record levels. In 2021, a liter of olive oil ran around $6.07. Today, a 2-liter Kirkland bottle at Costco is around $25. It nearly doubled in 3 years. Large format containers are increasingly hard to find. Some Kroger and Trader Joe's locations had shelves go completely empty, with restocking taking 3 to 4 weeks. Why does olive oil matter so much? Because the body can't absorb fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K without dietary fat. A stockpile built entirely on grains and canned goods will leave real nutritional gaps. 2 to 3 tablespoons of cooking fat per day makes your meals genuinely nourishing. Stock up on large format olive oil or coconut oil when you find it. Coconut oil keeps at room temperature for 2 to 3 years and needs less rotation. Number 9. Eggs. You probably already know this story, but here's the part you might not know. In early 2025, Walmart imposed a 2-carton per customer limit on 6 zero-count egg packs. At Costco, entire egg sections were selling out in 10 minutes, moments that were caught on camera and watched by millions. In March 2025, a dozen eggs hit $6.22. In 2026, 2022, the same product was around $1.50. Bird flu. The disease has been running continuously since 2022, and over 148 million poultry have had to be culled. Read that number again, 148 million. Prices have pulled back somewhat due to a partial recovery, but experts are clear, the virus has not been fully contained. The next outbreak wave could push prices back to record highs. What's the solution? Powdered eggs. Augustin Farms and Nutri-Store are available on Amazon and at Walmart. Properly stored, they last 5 to 7 years. They work in baking, omelets, and everyday cooking. When fresh eggs are hard to get, they're invaluable. Number 8. Canned tuna, star-kissed, bumblebee, chicken of the sea. This one is moving slowly but consistently toward trouble, and most people can't see why. Global tuna fishing quotas are under pressure. International fisheries organizations have started cutting catch limits. On top of that, tariffs are hitting because canned tuna sold in the US is largely processed in Thailand, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea. Star-kissed has raised prices multiple times this year. Bumblebee came close to bankruptcy in 2024 and had to reduce production capacity. Chicken of the sea is experiencing supply gaps on certain sizes and formats. Canned tuna is one of the most storage-efficient products you can buy. High-quality protein, omega, 3S, and B12 in a single tin. No preparation, no cold chain, no electricity. Shelf life is 3 to 5 years. When you find a good deal, buy by the 4/8 pack case unit price is much lower at Walmart or Costco. This product's price is heading up, and there is currently no reason to expect it to reverse. Number 7. Tomato sauce. Canned tomatoes Hunts, Del Monte, Contadina. One number tells the story here, 95%. Nearly all of America's processed tomato products, tomato paste, canned tomatoes, tomato sauce come from one region, California's Central Valley. 95%. One region. No meaningful alternative. And that region is under pressure from multiple directions. Water restrictions from drought are shrinking planted acreage. Labor and farm costs in California have been rising for years, and smaller producers are exiting. Add rising metal can prices, and this already low-margin product keeps sliding down producers' priority list. According to internal communications from major grocery chains, order fulfillment times have been exceeding 6 weeks. When partial shipments do arrive, they're gone within hours. Why does tomato paste matter so much? Because it turns whatever you have into a meal. Rice and beans become soup or stew with it. Pasta without it is just starch. From a flavor standpoint, it makes everything else in your stockpile far more sustainable to eat. Number 6. Large format cooking oil. Crisco, Wesson 1 gallon. A gallon of Wesson or Crisco vegetable oil was around $6 at Walmart 2 years ago. Today, the same product is $12 to $14. It doubled in 2 years. But price isn't the only issue. Large gallon containers are increasingly going completely out of stock. Available one day, gone the next. Entire shelf sections empty. This pattern is repeating across multiple chains in multiple states. The causes are stacked. Ukraine was one of the world's largest sunflower oil exporters. The ongoing war has significantly cut into that supply. Palm oil production restrictions and environmental regulations in producing countries continue. Soybean oil is climbing with general agricultural cost increases. Why is cooking oil so critical? Because your body needs fat to absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K for hormone production, for nervous system health. And standard pantry staples contain almost none. Rice? Nothing. Dry beans? Negligible. Canned vegetables? Zero. A diet without fat leads to real nutritional deficiency within weeks. 1 gallon of vegetable oil contains roughly 30,000 calories. At today's price, that makes it one of the most economical calorie sources per dollar on the shelf. Stored, sealed in a cool place, it lasts 1 to 2 years. Supplement with coconut oil to reduce rotation needs. Number 5. Bulk yeast. Fleischmann's vacuum pack. Most people never look at this one, but when you do, the picture is clear. Yeast production takes place in a small number of highly specialized facilities. Yeast is a living organism. It requires controlled fermentation environments, precision equipment, and careful temperature management. Capacity cannot be scaled up quickly. In 2020, home bread baking exploded. Manufacturers expanded capacity. By 2021 and 2022, the wave had passed. Capacity was scaled back down. But home baking habits didn't disappear entirely. A significant portion of people who started in 2020 kept going. Today, demand sits above 2019 levels, while capacity has returned to 2019 levels. The math doesn't work. Multiple major grocery chain buyers have added yeast to their watch list, meaning they're no longer confident they can stock it reliably. Standard small Fleischmann's packets last roughly 6 months at room temperature, 1 year refrigerated, 2 years frozen. But the real solution is commercial vacuum-sealed, 1 kilogram yeast blocks. Stored in a freezer, they maintain potency for 5 years or more. Each block is equivalent to over 60 individual 3-packet strips, and the per-unit cost drops dramatically. Without yeast, you can't make bread, and yeast has no real substitute. Number 4. Canned butter. Red Feather, Bega. You may never have heard of this product. That's part of the problem. There are only 3 companies producing commercial-scale genuine canned butter in the US. Just 3. That alone makes for a fragile supply chain. But recently, 2 major problems emerged simultaneously. One producer had a fire at their facility, causing a significant loss of production capacity. A second producer ran into trouble not with the product itself, but with its packaging, a shortage of metal cans. They can't source the tins. The production line can't run at full capacity. 2 major producers lost capacity. At the same time, demand was rising. That's the definition of a shortage equation. Canned butter stored in a cool environment can maintain quality for 5 to 10 years. Regular refrigerator butter starts degrading in 3 to 4 weeks. Frozen butter gets freezer burn in about 6 months. 1 can is typically equivalent to 3 standard sticks. The per gram cost is comparable to fresh butter, but the storage value is incomparable. Farm supply stores and specialty food retailers are where you'll usually find this, but they're moving fast. The window is closing. Number 3. Easy open evaporated milk. Carnation, pet milk. How does a shortage start? With small gaps on otherwise full shelves. Products that are there 1 week and gone the next. Temporarily out of stock labels. Easy open evaporated milk is following that exact pattern right now. Repeated gaps are showing up across multiple regions and multiple grocery chains. Then the out of stock labels disappear entirely, which means the store has stopped expecting regular deliveries. Why? When milk processing plants face capacity constraints, they prioritize high-margin products like fresh milk and cheese. Shelf-stable alternatives wait in the production queue. Output volumes shrink. Shipments get smaller. The easy open lid detail sounds trivial, but think about it. A power outage, an evacuation, any situation where your kitchen isn't fully operational, no can opener. An easy open lid is the difference between a meal and nothing. Small detail now, priceless when you actually need it. Evaporated milk is roughly 60% more concentrated than regular milk. A single can has about 16 grams of protein. It works in coffee, baking, soups, and sauces. Mixed with water, it's nearly indistinguishable from regular milk in taste tests. Number 2. Baby formula. Similac Enfamil. This one deserves a moment because there's real history behind it. The COVID-era baby formula shortage of 2021 and 2022 hit millions of American families hard. That crisis hadn't fully resolved when a new issue surfaced in late 2025. Multiple brands, including Nestle, issued global recalls after inspections identified a contaminant on some production lines linked to nausea and vomiting. Legislation to strengthen oversight is currently being debated in Congress, but has not yet been signed into law. If you have an infant at home, stock up now. Start building a supply with brands you trust. Check with your healthcare provider on which alternatives are appropriate. Keep at least a 2-month supply on hand. The supply chain for this product remains fragile, and when the next disruption hits, shelves empty within hours. Number 1. Large format honey. Sous B. Nature. Nate's 5 pounds or more. And here we are. Number 1. This product leads the list because it stands apart from everything else in one category entirely. Honey doesn't chemically spoil. That's not marketing language, it's basic chemistry. Honey's water content is so low that microorganisms cannot survive in it. Its pH inhibits bacterial growth, and its enzymatic activity naturally produces trace amounts of hydrogen peroxide. Honey was found in Egyptian pyramids dating back over 3,000 years. When tested, it was still chemically sound, still edible. 3,000 years. Nothing else in your pantry comes close to that. But right now, large format honey, 5 pounds or more, is getting harder to find. 2 factors are converging. First, US bee colony collapse is ongoing. Pesticide exposure, habitat loss, parasites, and disease combined are keeping colony productivity well below historic norms. Second, regulatory scrutiny on imported honey has tightened significantly due to fraud. Honey, adulterated with corn syrup or other sweeteners was being sold as pure honey. As enforcement pressure has increased, more imported honey is being held at ports or rejected. Domestic production is falling and imports are tightening both at the same time. Honey's uses extend well beyond sweetening. Its antibacterial properties aren't folk medicine. Medical-grade honey is used in clinical wound care worldwide. Its effectiveness as a natural cough suppressant is backed by scientific studies and has outperformed certain over-the-counter products in some comparisons. It's a fast energy source, and it can replace sugar in virtually any recipe. Buy large format, 5 pounds and up. The honey you buy today will still be usable in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Nothing else on this list is that simple or that logical. Now you know all 15 products, and you don't have to do this all at once. Here's the approach. Over your next 3 shopping trips, add 2 items from this list to your cart each time. 2 products, 3 trips. That's it. At that pace, you'll have built meaningful security within a month. This isn't panic buying, it's practical planning. Every supply issue on this list is real and documented. The price data is real. The stock gaps are real. If you're watching this video, you still have time. The people who will be in a good position 6 months from now aren't the ones who move when shelves go bare. They're the ones who move while shelves still look normal. Which product on this list are you picking up first? Write it in the comments. It's the best way to actually make it happen.
So those are the 15 items that are going to get harder to find in the coming weeks. But there is one item on this list that's disappearing way faster than the rest, and there's a detail about it that almost nobody talks about. We are covering that one alone in the next video, so make sure you are subscribed, because if you miss this, you could be too late. See you next time. Bye bye.